Good morning, everybody. This is your old buddy Bill playing with Metronomic systems and hoping to get everybody to understand how simple it is to pull off the shelf items out and start getting deeper into understanding metronomic configuration. With a metronomic configuration, what the whole idea is, it's like skipping a rope, and uh, the metronomic system has just a few nuances that are different, but once you get the idea and the concept, you can start seeing off-the-shelf items that you probably worked with for years, like I have, and come up with different ways of configurations. My son, I call him my son. He's not really my son, but he's a younger guy. He has a Trans Am that he races, and the alternator was giving him some problems. And I told him, I said, "Hey, I said to turn it in for a core charge. Let me have it." So anyway, the started delving into it, and the most people don't understand the regulator systems on an alternator and the brush systems and even what's inside of the unit. Okay. And so anyway, the alternator gotten to be a pretty cheap, inexpensive thing. One of the things after really kind of going through it is I discovered that the windings and everything in a classic automotive AC Delco alternator is basically set up for about 800 watts of power, which pretty cool. The In the rectifier section where the diodes are, they have potted diodes that are very heavy and they're properly heat sinked. And anyway, we're gonna delve into this unit, and I'll show you from the inside out what's inside one. Okay. So hey, buddy, good to see you, Jason. So anyway, the that's what we're starting off with. Now, the difference in oh man, that's heavy. I took a off-the-shelf motor that had to make some conversions to on a completely different design, and when I wound it, it's completely foreign to what most people have seen, and so this project will be completely foreign to what you've seen, but you'll end up seeing how easy it is to start working with metronomic type equipment. This is the stator of the stock unit, and found it, and this is wound in the Y configuration. Okay, but once you start understanding that there's 36 just slots in the configuration, and when they wind it, it is really kind of neat to see how the start is done, and it's just like a snake. Okay, and the dimensional size is very important when you see this, because actually when you look at it on an oscilloscope, what you see there when it's pulsing is what it does. Okay, and so I will be tearing this down and rewinding it asymmetrically or metronomically to get the rope jump effect. Okay, using delta configuration instead of the Y configuration. Okay, And instead of, we're going the other way now with a generator that it'll be metronomic. Okay, it'll be a metronomic generator instead of a metronomic alternator. Okay, and the this is part one of that. So the but you know, very easy to go to a scrapyard, pick up a couple of the same alternators, and this one happens to be 36 poles, so it makes it real easy to configure. Now, you know, with engineering different things on a protractor like I do, I just want to show you how this size of an alternator fits right into the protracted view. Okay. Of an alternator. So there are a lot of things when you start realizing that you take two protractors, you got 360 degrees around it, and the way things are designed and scaled up is kind of curious, because, you know, basically we took somebody's 1 year of experience and we've been duplicating that for the last 100 years. And the only thing is that we've been using balanced systems instead of the unbalanced metronomic system. So I expect, instead of having basically a 1 kW generator, that with the metronomic system, that when we actually test it at benchmark levels, we'll be able to do about 3 kW. So 3 kW is pretty, you know, serious power. And we can also step up the voltage and do other things with that. And because that's at 3 kW at 12 volts going to about 13.5, and the with the little bit of nuances in understanding the magniforce of the metronomic system, we can dive into it deeper. There's so many people that got me into doing these things and understanding the different configurations of how it all fits in and what the balanced system looks like and what the metronomic system looks like, and then doing configurations where you have multi-phase systems. Okay, most people don't realize that an alternator on American automobiles are primarily already 3-phase units, and the when you wind them up, they run at about 200 hertz to about 400 hertz, just depending on the configuration of how that's done. They will resonate automatically in those areas. Light bulbs and what they call universal motors really don't care about frequency. Okay, they need that pulse. But in a regular AC Delco unit, you can do that. Now you can look online and you can get conversion kits. This is a 80. I get mixed up on my numbers, but the amperage on this is an 80 amp unit. Okay, and the as far as the output, and the you can buy conversion kits to take an 80 amp unit and make it into a 125 amp unit, and you can buy that already pre-configured and take yours apart and then put different voltage regulator in it that comes in the kit, new brush sets, and the whole 9 yards. And when you start seeing how the whole system comes together, you'll start understanding better how things work. So it's pretty simple things, and I'm used to doing this on a bigger scale and getting it down to a smaller scale to where followers can use the equipment, design it right off the shelf. So I expect that the normal hobbyist that was messing with this, I would budget about $500 of disposable income to put towards this. So the obtain AC Delco if you want to follow mine, or you can get whatever you want. Mopar, Bosch, whatever you find, you'll see the different configurations and share that. A lot of the Bosch units are single phase units. Instead of having 3 leads coming out, they're wired single phase, and they have an in and out, which leads more to the Delta configuration, and that's what we'll be ultimately doing, is doing an ultimate configuration. So as I have time with everything else, I looked on my board today, and I've got 86 projects that I've got going on simultaneously. And one of those projects is getting my workshop cleaned off and stocked and categorized. I've got so many projects going on that I'm not used to living like this, and this has got to get back to being neat. So but we finally got through painting all the house on the inside, upstairs, and everything. That's been a project. And as a lot of you know, I'm also going ahead and pulling the trigger to do the seed energy. And my primary source for seed energy is through the solar panels. And as I get involved with that project, I made arrangements to get some really serious inverters for this project. I've got 3 of them coming in to run this project, and they're serious inverters with automatic transfer switches. Was very surprised I was able to buy them off the shelf. It was inexpensive, but as I bring them in and show them to you, you'll get the idea. They're coming in from overseas, and I'm going to pull the trigger to order them on the 15th of November, and then I'll be receiving them 45 to 50, 60 days after that. So that's going to be a process in itself. So got a lot going on, and hope you all enjoy this video. Hope you enjoy learning more about my Metronomic system. It's like I said, I discovered this from reverse engineering the Lockridge device, and in the 60s they took the Volkswagen generators and made a 400-watt emergency generating system that was known as a Lockridge device. But I discovered the technology, and it took me about 3 years on the side, figuring that out and how that worked. And I didn't create it. I just did the research and discovered it and put that together. Again, there's so many people I just need to take my hat off to that's really helped me. Vinny St. Vincent, man, stuff that he works on just really has fired my imagination. Made by one man, Scott Russell. Man, thank you for helping me increase my knowledge of things. Gerard Morin, you are just you're the one that really got me into seriously taking a look at this. But there's so many others that I will be mentioning and giving credits to. Jason, man, you're working on some really incredible stuff, and you're right there on the cutting edge of it. And I hope that my offerings and what I'm doing will help you to where you can understand that. And the more we share in the community, learning more about what's possible, it's amazing. So you guys have a great time, and if you're not having fun, hope you are, because we are. And I'll see you next trip.